So who in here, other than Brooke, knows all about the class we take our reps to called Sales Tough? Wouldn't you love to know what your reps are doing for 3 days in sunny Fort Lauderdale? Well, I'm Joe Trimble, I'm the Midwest Sales Director, and I'm here for the next hour and a half to talk a lot about everything about Sales Tough. I'm sorry, what? I don't have 5 minutes. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Sales Tough. We're going to talk about the fundamentals of Sales Tough. Actually, now we're going to talk about one fundamental of Sales Tough. Here are the 8 that we talk about, equally weighted. They're all extremely important. We're going to spend the most time, and really all the time today, on the top one, which is nothing interrupts the money hours. What characterizes first a rep when we define them as being sales tough? Okay, they're determined, they're resilient in the face of obstacles we put up in front of them, that they put up in front of themselves, and they're utterly determined. They're positive, they ask questions, but they always listen more than they talk. That's so key. Quick question. I won't put anybody on the spot on this one, but think about what your Fridays are like in the office. Think of it from a sales perspective. I know this group has a lot of things going on, obviously. So think about it in terms of sales. What's Friday sort of like? Is it as equally strong as every other day of the week?
Friday's fun day.
Friday's fun day. Friday's the weekend's almost here day. Friday's also 20% of your week. What happens if we do that on every single Friday? I don't do all that math for you either, but think about what's 20% of your sales budget in a year. What if we took a Friday off? Well, let's look at what, this makes sense in a second, I promise it will. I'm not trying to scare anyone here. But what I want to talk about next is the money hours, okay? And this will all kind of come together in a second. Money hours we define as simply the most valuable selling hours of the day, okay? So what are those? And what I think we should talk about as leaders is how do we help our reps determine what those hours are? We have a certain responsibility to help guide our folks, lead them, make sure that they hit their goal or have every opportunity to do so, right? I like that, put the do not disturb. I mean, we can physically put a do not disturb sign. If whatever it takes, right? Creativity, whatever needs to happen to help ensure those hours are safe, do it. Help them out. What these next couple of kind of boring slides are going to show, graphs, are some data that I put together. I did some analysis, frankly, in every rep in the region. I looked at how, when their calls tended to happen in the week, what time of day, every day, when during the week they were most weighted. So this is an actual sales rep, and it shows that most of his reps calls were late in the morning and then in the afternoon. This is just general calls. This one is really the money slide, but the money hours part of the conversation. The blue part shows call completed. That's what really we're talking about, right? Right? What's more, voicemails are important, but we all agree that actually talking to customers is probably better than just leaving a voicemail. So when does that happen? This is all readily available. I can certainly show you how to get it. I'll be happy to help get it for you if you need. But let's look at a little bit of what this says. The blue line is call completed. The red line is call left message. This sales rep made a lot of calls in the morning, but didn't do as many, left more voicemails. Look at the power, especially in that last hour or so, that 4 to 5 o'clock. You can't read the 1 second from the right says 4 to 5. Look at how many more calls completed he was able to do. There's a message there somewhere, right? What do you think that message is, Allison?
They should keep making a lot of calls.
When? What part of that mean?
Late in the day.
There you go.
Folks are maybe back in the office.
Folks are back in the office.
Or
What other, there's lots of great reasons why that may happen.
Yeah, it's kind of early and late.
Right. Well, maybe that's natural. What are most of our sort of core customers about? When do they do their job? This one goes back to that. It's going to tie back to that little Friday idea. Okay. Look at the volume, this overall volume of calls throughout the week. The early week, we're ready to go, ready to rock. Monday's very good. But look at Friday's call completed number. That's pretty solid stuff. Maybe, well, what does it say? Anybody? What does that say about when this rep?
Friday's fun day.
Well, Friday everybody's fun day probably should Friday be fun day. So therein lies, I think, the message of what I want to talk about this morning, right? So we talked a little bit about the money hours of sales stuff. Sales stuff is a very, very valuable couple of days. All kidding aside, it's a great 2 days. I think people get a lot out of it. Looking forward to doing it again with another group, hopefully this fall sometime. But otherwise, that's completes what I have today. Any questions?